Okay, as we discussed last week, we're going to spend the first 20 minutes looking at the Latin, and John and Christiana are going to kind of be on point, although I'm not going to put them on the spot the way a kind of traditional Latin professor would. But this is kind of their show. And hopefully it's going to help everybody else, because you're going to grasp that you're not, when you're reading Horace in English, you're not actually reading the original. I mean, it's a little obvious, but sometimes you kind of, it's easy to lose sight of that. And one thing that's nice about lining the two courses up is that when you have a sense of the Latin that's behind the English, you can kind of get into that. And even if you don't know Latin at all, you can look up, there can be a word that really, really interests you in the English, and then you can ask me what the Latin word is, and I'll tell you, and you can look it up, and we can discuss those meanings. So this is why I think this is a good idea. Okay, so like Book 3, Ode 1, this, which is Book 3, Ode 2, is in Horace's favorite meter. And remember that all 6 of these initial odes of Book 3 are in this same meter, and that as early as about 200 AD, a guy named Porphyrion said that all 6 of these odes were a sequence, and then it wasn't until 1882 that a German dude said that we should call them the Roman odes, at which point everybody basically said, yeah, we should call them the Roman odes. And the context, which we didn't talk about really very much at all last time, we're in 23 BCE, which is right after Augustus has come to power. And you may remember I mentioned that dude Maecenas, who is Augustus's major domo and consigliere and kind of minister of mayhem sometimes, but among other things is the sponsor of Virgil and Horace, the poets who are going to celebrate the Augustan achievement such as it is. And one of the purposes of both of the courses is to get you guys looking in interesting and complex ways at what that achievement might actually be. Okay, so angust amicae pauperiem pati robustus acri militia puer condiscat et pactos ferocis vexet eques metuendus hasta vitamque sudivet trepidis agat in rebus. All right, so very often when you're starting off an ode of Horace, the thing that's hardest to find is the subject of the first sentence. So Christiana or John, have you been able to locate the subject of this first sentence?
Well, is it not an empty subject because condiscat is a hortatory subjunctive? Okay,
you're exactly right on that form. So our main verb, and it's better, I mean, you're keeping me honest. We want to look for the verb before we look for the subject if we're going to do this like putting it on graph paper thing that we kind of have to do with this kind of poetry. Since even like your most advanced classes has a hard time just kind of reading this off the bat and understanding it. Okay, so condiscat is definitely our first verb. It's going to be in coordination with another verb in the sentence, but it actually does have a subject. So let's just start with that verb. Let whoever do what?
Boy.
Yeah, so puer, absolutely. So let the boy condiscat, let him learn. Okay, we're going to modify him though too. So let's see if we can take in what's going to modify him. The boy is robustus, strong. Let's just go with that. Robur, the root here, is the word for oak. So he's kind of oak strong. The British used to say this about their tars, that is their sailors. Okay, so let the boy strong. Okay, and now this phrase. So Horace will, despite the fact that he's going to completely mess you up in most cases with regard to word order, Horace will also help you out in unexpected ways with word order. And I think, Christiana, you pointed out that this is chiastic. Mm-hmm. So A, B, B, A, right? So the boy strong, and then acri militia is in what case? Guesses? Okay, it's ablative. So you can call this several different kinds of ablative, but means is maybe the most, maybe the easiest way to think about it. So he's robustus acri militia. And so Horace kindly, it's a wonderful chiastic poetic structure, but he also kindly puts this phrase right after the word that it goes with. So he's strong. Militia is military service. It comes into our language as militia, right? Like the Minutemen. So the boy strong, how do we set up that syntactic relationship? He's strong, give me a preposition. By, or maybe from. By or by means of, if you want to do the kind of most typical ablative thing. Let the boy strong from military service learn. Okay, and now we get to go back to the first line. What is he going to learn? Angustam pauperiem. Right, so accusative singular there. Let him learn fearful, anxious. There's also a sense of constriction. Okay, and pauperes, what does that word mean? What's a pauper? Is poor. Yeah, exactly. So pauperies is an abstract noun that describes the pauper, which is poverty. Okay. So let the boy strong from military service learn anxious poverty. Okay. And now we have another object of condiscat to add, pati, which is going to change things around. So an actual Roman reader, as he went through this first line, would have seen angust amice pauperiem pati. And pati is an infinitive. It's one of those weird passive third conjugation infinitives. Let him learn pati.
To suffer.
Yes, great. So angustam pauperiem is actually going to be the object of pati. Let him learn to suffer anxious poverty. Okay, now amice is a little weird. What's it doing?
Friend.
What case is it? So amicus is a friend, right? So what case is that? It's kind of unambiguous when you realize it, but it's weird to see it there. It's vocative, right? Yeah, that long E in the second declension. So friend, comma, oh friend, hello friend, let the let the boy strong for military service learn to suffer anxious poverty. All of these odes are really weird. I feel like when they're taught these days, even the classicists who teach them are so used to them that they don't even see how weird they are. I mean, why would you say this? Friend, let the boy, like random boy. I mean, random except that he's hard for military service, so he's a soldier, he's a young soldier. You're just kind of starting off an address to some person that you consider to be your friend by recommending that a young soldier learn to suffer harsh poverty, okay? And this other thing where's our next verb? Okay, that got a gerundive there, but that's going to be an adjective rather than a verb, so it's a verbal adjective. So our next finite verb is going to be the next one that ends with at, agat. So let the boy do all that stuff, and let the, okay, now we've got another subject. Sorry, I missed a verb. Wexet is going to be a verb. Okay. And which is going to, wexo wexare will give us another one of the jussives hortatory. Let the eques, the rider, the knight, is how it's traditionally translated. So a cavalryman. Let the cavalryman metuendus, to be feared. You can call it fearful, meaning person that people should be afraid of. But to be feared is the kind of real root meaning. Let the rider to be feared wexet the partos ferokis. Who are these guys, the partos? Parthians, right? And what were they known for in terms of combat? All right, I'm going to stop this. So.